Hello everyone, it's a great pleasure to take part of this webinar and discuss with you how we can modernize pharmaceutical manufacturing with the goal of improving accessibility and affordability of pharmaceutical on a global scale. My name is Salvatore Mascia, I'm the founder of Continuous Pharmaceutical, whose mission is to deliver medication to patients much quicker and at significantly reduced cost. We do this through the implementation of a novel integrated continuous manufacturing process with new technology. And I like to stress the importance of the integration and use of new technology to reap the full benefit of continuous manufacturing in terms of speed of production, quality of product, and reduction in cost. I would like to start by defining the motivation for a change in pharmaceutical manufacturing. And the key point is that there is a gap between the evolution of medicine and the capability of the pharmaceutical industry to produce this medicine. That's because of a lack of an economically viable pharmaceutical manufacturing infrastructure. Plus, there is many drugs which are under shortages, and we need to respond to that. If you go right now into a pharmaceutical manufacturing plant, you will see technology that we've seen many decades ago. These processes worked well up to now, but there are several factors for which these are not sustainable anymore. First, the majority of the blockbuster drugs now going out of patent. There are increasing R&D expenditure, but we get the same number of drugs approved. There is a pricing pressure, so companies are also forced to reduce costs to maintain the margin. We are moving toward the targeted type of therapy, so we need to be able to produce product with different specifications very rapidly, so we need a new rapid manufacturing technique. And finally, the regulatory agency requires more stringent regulation, and the motto of the FDA, One Quality Voice, is a demonstration of this. In fact, if we look at the pharmaceutical quality for the 21st century of the FDA, the key determination basically is to produce an agile and flexible pharmaceutical manufacturing sector which produce pharmaceutical product with high quality with minimum regulatory oversight. And this is actually possible if we think about our continuous fully automated system. In fact, last November, we were financed $4.4 million by the FDA to build an end-to-end continuous model system and to use this to develop regulatory understanding and also hopefully also drive future ICH guidelines for continuous manufacturing. We are not the only company which is trying to implement continuous manufacturing. There are different approaches to continuous manufacturing, and they all depend on the risk-reward benefit that the company wants to follow. We have a company who are implementing continuous manufacturing as a single unit operation. Other company, they're trying to integrate unit operation for the production of the API, and other company who integrate unit operation for the production of the drug product. Our approach is different because we are trying to integrate drug substance and drug product in one single solution with novel technology. And that is a very innovative approach, but we believe this is the one most rewarding. These slides show you the concept of an integrated continuous manufacturing, our vision of this continuous pipe where you introduce raw chemical from one end and your product comes out at the other end, with a process that runs 24/7 under fully automated control. And there are three main distinctions within this process that make it work effectively. So the first point is the end-to-end integration. So although the vision is that of a pipe, those are single unit operations that connect to each other seamlessly. And they're all modular and portable, so these units can be interchanged one another to actually produce several different products. And those unit operations, again, are novel technology. We are not using existing tool and re-engineering to make it run 24/7. We have developed novel technology specifically designed for continuous manufacturing and end-to-end. And we developed this initially at MIT, and our company now has a license to implement those technology. I can show you an example of this end-to-end integration which we have in our lab, which consists running a continuous reaction and then doing a continuous crystallization in an heterogeneous fashion. What that means? That we grow the API directly on the excipient surfaces. So imagine to do your granulation directly into a crystallizer and then taking out the product and continuously filter and drying this into the final API. And we have demonstrated this process here, which basically run 60 grams an hour in terms of throughput. If you think about 24/7 operation for 350 days a year, we're also talking about more than half a tons of API here in these small systems. The system is fully automated, and that's the heart of the continuous manufacturing process. We have developed a proprietary integrated control system together with Emerson using Delta V, which has two main components. The first, it's a plant-wide dynamic model. So we're using a model that provide first principle understanding of this unit operation and these processes. At the same time, allow us to have a robust understanding of it, can help estimate parameters that can actually not be measured, and allow us to perform a sensitivity analysis, so we can understand which one are the critical process parameters that affect your quality product. And the second component is the distributed control system. This has a high level and a low level control. The low level control is used for the stabilization of the process, of the unit operation. The high level control instead is the control across unit operation. So basically allow to perform the sensitivity analysis and design the control loop to make sure that the processes are changed accordingly to the quality specification required. Everything I described so far is not just theory. We actually have implemented this commercially project with client, and we have a particular example here which I want to show you for a generic drug where we're able to meet all the quality product profile. We're able to reduce the cost of the batch process versus the continuous process between 35 to 40%. We're also able to increase the net yield between 6 to 8%, reduce the number of unit operation between 8 to 85%, reduce solvent usage, which is most important for this generic product and also for the cost perspective, by over 50%. Processing time between 20 and 40%. And finally, also the footprint, an enormous reduction in the footprint occupied by the process. We're talking about footprint reduction of greater than 90%. Everything that I described so far obviously seems great, but there is also a barrier to the implementation of this technology. And I can summarize this in three main pillars: the organizational mindset of the pharmaceutical industry, the technology barrier, and the regulatory. The most pressing one, I would say, the organizational mindset, because the pharmaceutical industry still has a neat separation between API division and drug product division. Plus, there is excess capacity in batch, so this will require obviously some organizational restructuring. The second point is the technology. Those technologies need to be embraced by vendor in more aggressive fashion, such that can be used on a commercial scale. And finally, the regulatory aspect, which I like to put in quotes, because the regulatory is nearly not the bottleneck for this. There are several initiatives, especially within the FDA, to actually promote continuous manufacturing, and our project with them, I think, is an example. We have developed a very clear strategy on how to implement this technology now. And this is basically a phase approach implementation. So we do a design initially of the process, then we move into a development pilot phase before implement commercially at our client site. The design phase provides the client with all the necessary detail about the process. It's a clear demonstration that actually the system works. Then we will do a pilot where we integrate the whole system, we deploy the control system and make sure that the process functions in the exactly same way that the client is going to use it. And then when this phase is completed, we basically move everything to the actual client for start the manufacturing phase. The role of VIMA is critical. We are not an equipment manufacturer, we are not a consulting company, we are a process development and technology company. So that's why we have decided to partner with an expert equipment manufacturer so they can provide us the equipment that needed for the commercial production. At the same time, we have established partnership with Emerson through New England Control for the control and automation of these continuous processes, and we use the Delta V control system with this. So now with Emerson, with the control, and EMA on the equipment manufacturer, we have a very strong proposition to work with our client and to implement our process for them very effectively. So I hope I was able to convince you that our integrated continuous manufacturing process with novel technology can radically transform the pharmaceutical manufacturing industry with the key advantages in terms of production time, cost, and improve quality and reduce footprint. This system is very modular. We can interchange the unit operation to produce many different pharmaceuticals, and there's an integrated control system that can take real-time action during the manufacturing process to basically produce high-quality product all the time. Thank you very much for your attention to this webinar.